Hi everybody and welcome back. In your early plantings, do the leaves in your garden ever look like this? If so, I think I know what's wrong and I may have a solution for you. Stick around. Hi everybody and welcome back to the garden. So as you saw, a lot of my young growth on my plants of all different kinds. I had okra there and tomatoes and beans and stuff. A lot of my young growth had that brown spot on it. And let me tell you, the first thing a lot of new gardeners will think is, I've got a pest infestation. Probably more than likely you don't have a pest infestation. What you have is you've got young plants that are under stress. Okay, so let me tell you, for me, we planted everything started to come up, or we went to our producer's co-op and got things, and things started to grow. I had to go away on business, so I was gone for a good week. So my wife and son weren't able to water because of various scheduling conflicts and stuff. So my young plants, hang on, I got to throw the ball. My young plants didn't get enough water. So I've got a pretty good balance of things in my soil. I've got a good balance of clay and organic. The clay helps you hold on to the soil, but if you have too much, that water just runs right out. So you need a good mix of clay and organics in your soil to hold on to the water to keep your plants hydrated. Typically, you're going to see stress as it relates to young plants, as in they're not getting enough water. So either you're not watering enough, or they're not getting the water that you give them. It's a weird distinction in gardens, but that's typically what you're going to have, is that stress is going to be water related. Let me take you back to the garden. It's been about 2 weeks now, and I'm back on my regular watering schedule. So I'll show you what we've got, and as I show you, I'll talk you through some of the other things you might think about when it's related to stress in your plants. All right, so here's what we've got. You see, these are my beans. Some of them came up, some of them didn't, but I've got good new growth on them. You can see some of the old growth is still there. That's one of the mistakes a lot of people make, is whenever you have this stress in your plant, a lot of people just come in and start whacking it off. So I will tell you, I'm going to start trimming some of this stress-related growth, probably here in the next couple of days or so. But don't make more stress on your plant by coming in there and just whacking all that stuff off whenever there's not a lot of this new, good, healthy growth on it. So now, if I come back in and I take a few of these leaves off here and there, not in mass, mind you, but here and there, I'm not going to put my stress back on my plant. I'm just going to have a good, healthy plant that I'm trimming, which is there's a big difference between whacking off a bunch of old growth and trimming. Okay, so what we've got is, let me go ahead and you see I have puppies that have been in my garden this morning. But I've got a pretty good soil here. It's a good mix of clay and organics, and so it holds on to the water pretty well. So I will tell you, I'm in Central Texas, and we've had a pretty weird spring, but this is really holding on to the water well. I watered 2 days ago, and you can see that's still pretty moist soil. But it's again because I've got that good mix of clay and organic in it. So water is your number one. Dirty finger there. Water is your number one cause of stress in your plants. The number two is going to be some sort of imbalance in your fertilizer. So a lot of times, so as you see, even my okra, which is terribly hardy, had a lot of stress on it. There we go. But so number one is water. Number two is going to be your balance of your fertilizer. So if you have too much fertilizer, it puts stress, and it looks exactly like this. And so that stress on your plants is caused because the fertilizer actually causes an imbalance in the soil, and it doesn't allow all the moisture to be accessed by the plant. And so therefore it puts the same type of stress on your plant as not getting enough water. So it looks the same, it just isn't the same cause. So be careful of over-fertilizing. If you do overwater, you can get a similar result, but typically, unless you're just drowning your plants, you're probably not going to get an overwatering scenario. Most likely you're going to get something where you're underwatering or you're over fertilizing. So just be careful. And again, just keep in mind, I've been showing y'all this. This is probably 2 weeks out, I guess, from my previous videos where I had all the really stressed plants. Again, this is just stress in my plants. Okay, as you see, I started back on my normal watering schedule. This is my zucchini. I am back to producing good, healthy plants. You saw my tomatoes, they're back to being healthy. And again, even on my zucchini, I'm starting to get little buds. So I'm going to have flowers here before you know it. And this, again, they all recovered, they did well, and they're back to doing well. Don't overreact. Don't start whacking away on it. Just stay the course, get back to a normal watering schedule, and the plants will kind of fix themselves. All right? So there you go. Stressed plants, get back to a normal watering schedule, and you'll have good, healthy growth on them before you know it. All right? If you like the video, if you like this style of video, let me know in the comments down below. Be sure and give me a thumbs up if you like it. Be sure and subscribe if you like this type of content. I go back and forth between different styles of content, but this is more of an informational type thing today. All right, everybody, thanks for watching. We will see you on the next video.